Hello and welcome to this session on REST Assured Beginner tutorial. I am Raghav, and in this session we are going to go step by step from scratch, and we will learn what is REST Assured and how to create a project in REST Assured for API testing. Now do not worry if you are completely new to REST Assured and you do not know anything about REST Assured or API testing. I will go from very basics and we will start from scratch. You can follow this tutorial on Windows or Mac operating system. So in this session we are going to learn what is REST Assured, what are its uses, how to create a project in Java in REST Assured, and how you can test APIs with REST Assured from that project. So let's get started, and here I will go on my Windows system. If you are on Mac, you can also follow this and I will show you if there are any differences. And before that, let me just very quickly show you and tell you what is REST Assured. So REST Assured is a Java library, or you can also say it is a Java API for testing RESTful web services. So it is used for testing RESTful web services, and it can be used to test XML and JSON. So you can test both XML and JSON based web services, and it supports different HTTP methods like post, get, put, delete, and we will see an example of all these options, and patch, head, and so on. So all these HTTP methods are supported, and you can also integrate it with any testing framework. So it can be integrated with testing frameworks like JUnit or TestNG, etc. So we will see an example in our project how we can integrate with TestNG, and this library or this API is implemented in Groovy. So this is implemented in Groovy. So this is a good question that you can be asked in interviews or otherwise. REST Assured is implemented in Groovy. Now using REST Assured we can create tests using BDD style, that is behavior driven development, using keywords like given, when, then. I will explain this to you later. Before that, let us very quickly go to the REST Assured website. So here is the website restassured.io. Go here. Let me just quickly go to this website and show you. So this is restassured.io, and here you will find all the details about REST Assured. This is the official website, and you can see some documentation here. Here you can see some sections: intro, news, release notes, docs, and hue. If I go to the intro, you can see all this details here. If I go to the news section, we have this news about REST Assured. Here are the release notes where you can find all the releases, and at the time of recording this video the latest one is 4.2.0. You can also go to the documentations. Here you can see all the documentation, getting started, downloads, user guides, Java docs, everything is here. And then if you go to who, here you can see the details on the person who developed it, and REST Assured is developed and maintained by John Halaby, and you can see all these details here. So this will be very handy, you can check that. Now we will learn more about REST Assured. Let me very quickly take you to my Windows system and we will start creating a project, and for that let me first show you the prerequisites. So before we start creating a project with REST Assured, what are the prerequisites? So we should be having Java on our system. We need a IDE like Eclipse or IntelliJ or any IDE that you can use for Java development. You can use that. We will need Maven because we are going to create a Maven project, and we will need TestNG for creating a testing project or a testing framework with REST Assured. So these are the prerequisites. So I will go to my Windows system and I will go to the command line and I will check the Java version. I will say Java space hyphen version, and here you can see I am getting my Java version is Java 8. So this should work fine. Even if you have Java 9 or some later versions, that should work fine. So this is okay. Now just in case you do not get this Java version here and you get something like command not found or some other error message, it may be that Java is either not installed on your system or the environment variables are not set. In either case, you can go to my website, that is automationstepbystep.com. So go here, and here automationstepbystep.com, go to the section programming and go to Java, and if you click here, go to this section Java here, and it will take you to the YouTube playlist on Java, and here you will find tutorials on how to install Java on Windows and Mac. So if you are on Windows, you can check this tutorial, and if you are on Mac, you can check this one. So this is just in case you do not have Java set up on your system, and when you run Java space hyphen version, if you do not get this option or this message, you can check that. The same thing if I try on my Mac. If I go to terminal and I will say Java space hyphen version, and here also you can see I am having Java 8 setup. So Java is there, so I can exit. Now we need a IDE. We can either get IntelliJ or Eclipse. Now in my case, I'm going to use Eclipse. Even if you are using anything other than Eclipse like IntelliJ, this is completely fine. You can follow this tutorial. So here, if you have Eclipse, you can get started right away. Just in case you do not have it, you can just go to Google and say Eclipse download, and here you will get to this link on Eclipse, which is eclipse.org, and if you go to the download section here, let me very quickly show you. Here you can see you can download Eclipse from here. Now here, if you download this, it will be downloaded as a exe or some installer will get downloaded and you can install Eclipse, or you can also click on download packages here, this one. So if you click on download packages, it will take you to the Eclipse packages page, and here you can see you will find all these packages. Now we can take this one, Eclipse IDE for Java developers, and based on your operating system you can click. For example, I am on Windows, I can say Windows 64-bit. If you're on Mac, you can click on Mac 64-bit, and then it will take you to the page where you can download it. And here you can see again you are getting an option to download directly. It will be an installer. However, if you just want to get a zip folder where that you can unzip and keep on your system, you can click this one. So this will download a zip folder and you just have to unzip, and you can keep it at any location on your system, and that is exactly what I have done. If I go to my folder, in my case I have kept it under my D drive and tools and Eclipse, and you can see this was downloaded as a zipped folder. I have just unzipped it and kept it here, and this is how it looks like. And if you double click on this eclipse.exe file, it will start your Eclipse. Again, if you have any issues, you can again go to my website, and if you go to let me just very quickly check where you will find this. So if you go to this tools or go to Java tips and tricks, this link will have a video which will show you how to set up Eclipse. So yeah, you can go back to the Java playlist. Yeah, here we have this video getting started with Eclipse IDE. So, and my first Java program, this will give you a very good details in case you are using Eclipse for the first time. And then in the Java tips and tricks playlist, I have a video on how to add TestNG plugin in Eclipse. This we will see later, but for now we are done with our prerequisites, Java and IDE. Now we need Maven and TestNG. So let me first open Eclipse. So I'm going to open Eclipse. So you just have to double click on the eclipse.exe file here, and this will open Eclipse. So I'm just going to my Eclipse now. This is already open here. Now I will create a new Maven project. So let me also write down the steps. Create first project for API testing, and here step 1 is open Eclipse. Step number 2 is create a Maven project. So I will go here, and you can either go to file, new, and go to other, or you can also just do a right click here on this packages, and just in case you do not get this packages or package explorer here, you can go to this perspective and click here and make sure that you are in the Java default perspective. And still, if you do not get it, you can always click on this search and just start typing package, and you will see we have a package explorer here. You can click that and it will show you the package explorer. So if in case you do not get this, you can do that, or you can then you can do file, new, or do a right click under package explorer and say new, and go to other and start typing Maven, and you will get a Maven project option. Now in all the recent versions of Eclipse, this Maven option and the Maven capabilities are already built in, so you will always get Maven project. Just in case you do not find this Maven option here or Maven project option here, that means you are using some older version of Eclipse, and then you will have to add Maven plugin separately. So just in case you do not get this, you can always go to window. So this is the window menu. Go to window or go to help here. It is help, and go to Eclipse Marketplace, and here you can search for Maven, and then you will get a Maven plugin that you will have to install. So this is only in case you do not get the Maven option. So this is what you can install and then restart Eclipse. But if you are using any recent versions of Eclipse, then you will have the Maven already inbuilt. So I will again go to file, new, others, and search for Maven, and then select Maven project and say next. And here I will just say create a simple project and say next. You can also select the location where this project will be stored. So in my case, I have selected this location. I will again say next. Now here I have to give the project name. So I will say this is let us say rest assured project, and I can give the same group ID and artifact ID and say finish, and you will see the rest assured project is here. Now you will also see that I can see my other projects also here in the package explorer. Just in case you do not want to see all these different projects here, you can also put this project in a working set. Now what is working set? This is optional. Just in case you want to do that, you can just click on these three dots here, and here we have an option of selecting working set, and here you can click on new to create a new working set. You can say Java and next and give some name to your working set here, and then you can select the projects that will go in that working set, and then from here again you can say select working set, and then you can select what working set you want to view and say OK, and now you can see only the projects which are in that working set will be displayed. So this is just extra information. Let me deselect the working set. Now I am looking at all my projects. Now this project is created here, that is rest assured project, and you can see all these files and folders inside. Now if you go to pom.xml, here this is the file where we manage the dependencies, or where we put the dependencies of this project, that is the libraries that we will need during our working on this project. And to put the dependencies, you just have to create a tag for dependencies within the project tag. So if you say dependencies here, you can also see it is getting auto completed, and now all the dependencies that we require will be put inside this. So to get the dependencies for rest assured, I will go to Maven Central, and here I can get the Maven dependencies. So I will search for rest assured first, and you can see this is rest assured. Make sure that you are getting it from io.restassured and go here. So this is the latest version 4.3.0 at the time of recording this video. I will click here, and here is the Maven dependency. You can also see other build tools, Gradle, SPT, Ivy, Grape, etc. I just need the Maven one, so I will just copy this, and inside or within the dependencies tag, just copy and paste this dependency. And this is the comment, we do not need this. You can delete this. You can just say Control D and the entire line will be deleted. Also, if you want to correct the indentation, you can select everything with Control A and then press Control I, so it will correct all the indentation. So here you can see this is now added. And what else we will need is, we will need TestNG, because we are going to create a TestNG framework. I will again search for TestNG, and here again you can see it is coming from org.testng. So I will click here, and the latest one is 7.1.0. I will take this, the Maven dependency, and I will add again here, and again I will correct the indentation. So we now have two dependencies added. Let me show you in full screen. So this is my pom.xml. Now if I save my project, you can see, if you see the tree here, we have GRE system libraries here. So these are the inbuilt GRE system libraries, but we do not have any Maven library or Maven dependency folder here. But as soon as I will save my project, it will download all the dependencies that I have mentioned in pom.xml, and all the required files and libraries will be added to the project. So let me just save my project. You can press Ctrl S or save from here. I will say Ctrl S, and you will see now you will have a folder called Maven dependencies, and it has all our required dependencies. So you can see rest assured is here, and you will also find TestNG here, and then other required libraries or other supporting libraries or jars are also added. So this is how easy it becomes to manage and maintain your libraries and jars if you are using Maven. If you do not use a Maven project, then you will have to manually download all these jars and add to your project, and in case there is any change or any new version coming up, then you will have to delete all the older jars and then get the new ones. But here, now let us say if there is any change or any new version coming up. For example, let us say tomorrow we have 4.4.0 version of rest assured. I will just change it here and save my project, and nothing else I have to do. It will take care of all the library management. It will delete the older ones, get the new ones, download and put it here. Everything will be managed by Maven. And also, if I take this project to any new system, again I do not have to worry on any management or any libraries or any jars. It will take care of everything. So when first time you save your project on a new system, it will download and get all the libraries from the internet and save it in the project and do all the management. So that is why we create a Maven project. Now also, before I go further, if you do not have Maven physically on your system, even then it is fine if you are, as long as you are running from Eclipse, because Eclipse has Maven. Just in case later on, if you want to run from command line using Maven, then you will need Maven on your system as well. And you will find again, if you go to my website and go to Maven under build tools, you will find tutorials on how to get Maven on Windows and Mac operating system. So here are the videos, but as of now you do not have to worry on that, because in this session we are just going to run from here from Eclipse. So we have done step number 3, which is add dependencies in pom.xml. Now if you go to the website of Rest Assured, so if you go here and go to the documentation, and if you go to getting started, you will find some good details there. So you can see in getting started, here you can see these are the Maven dependencies, so which we have already done, that is the Rest Assured, and then it is also showing some other dependencies for JSON path. So if you are working with a API that has JSON response, this will be very handy. JSON path, then we have XML path for XML based responses, and JSON validation, schema validation libraries, and then some other libraries. Now we will see all this later. As of now we just need Rest Assured and we need TestNG that we have already done. So as of now we just need these two libraries. So now we will also need Apache PUI later when we do data driven testing. So if you just search for Apache PUI, so this is for reading and writing to Excel and CSV files. So this we will need later when we start doing our data driven testing, but for now let us leave this and let us go back to our project. Now here I will create a class. So you will see here in the project structure we have these folders. We have src main java, then we have src test java. So because we are creating tests, we will go to src test java. And also if you find a little difference in the folders and these icons, do not worry, you may be in project explorer. So you can see this is package explorer. Okay, this is package explorer here. You can also see the same structure in a project explorer. So let me just show you. If I open project explorer, let me check. Yes, it is here, project explorer. If I go here, you can see the same project is shown in a little different structure, or the icons are a little different than this. So you can see, you can check anything, that is fine. I am just going with the package explorer. So I will go to the src test java and do a right click and go to new, and now I can either create a new package just for easy categorization, or I can directly create a class. So let me create a class directly here, and here I will name it, let us say I want to run a get request, or let me just also say this is tc or test 01 underscore get. So that's it. I have just given a name to the class, and I do not need a main method because I'm going to create TestNG method. So I will just skip this main and I will say finish. So you will see a class getting created, and this is the class. Let me increase the font. So I have created a class here. Now inside the class I will just create a method, let us say void. Now just in case you are also completely new to Java, you can check the Java tutorials here on my website. So if you go to automationstepbystep.com, go to programming and go to Java, you will get to this playlist where you can see some basic Java tutorials. So I will just directly start by creating a function. I will say void, and let me say test underscore 01. You can give any name to your function, and brackets and a curly bracket, start and stop. So this is a very simple function, and to make it as a TestNG function I will give the annotation at test. Now as soon as you say at test, you will see there is a error here. If you hover over this or click on this error, it says we have to import this from any of these libraries. and we have options for importing from TestNG or JUnit. So if you hover over this, you can see all these options. So make sure that you import from org.testng.annotations. If you import from JUnit, then it will be working as a JUnit test. So I will just get the TestNG annotation, and you can also verify that the import is from the org.testng.annotation. So now this is the TestNG test. Now I can use rest assured library and classes because I have already added rest assured dependency. So I will say rest assured dot, and you can see if I say get, we are getting this auto completion. If you do not get this auto suggestion, you can press Control spacebar on your keyboard. Similarly, if I want to do a post, I will say dot post, and we have post here. We also have put, we have delete, then we have patch, options, everything will be here. So all these HTTP methods you can use. I will say get, and here I have to give the URL of the or the endpoint of my API. So for now, let me just take some public API. I will say public or REST API for testing. I will search on Google, and here you can see we have got a lot of options. I will get this reqres.in. I will go here, and here you can see on this website, that is reqres.in, we have some fake REST APIs that we can use for testing. Now in the coming parts of this video, I will also show you how you can create a local server and host your dummy APIs and use them. Just in case you do not get this particular website, or it is down, or you are not getting the exact APIs, you can use any API, your own APIs, or any public REST APIs for testing. And I will also show you how you can create a local server for testing your own APIs later. So here you can see we have some APIs: get, post, put, delete, patch, etc. I will just take this list users, which is a get API, and if I click on this request here, it will open in a, this opens the actual request and response, and this is the URL. I will just copy this URL. I will copy this URL and provide it here. So you can see I have just given this URL here, and this is done. Also you can see it has also imported io.restassured class from here. So this is done. So this will do a get on this endpoint. Now to store this, I can just say response. Response is again a class from rest assured, and I can use some variable. Let us say response here, and as Java is case sensitive, this is different from this. And here you are seeing that there is a error again under response. So if I hover over it, make sure that you get it from the io.restassured. So this should be, let me again show you. If I hover over the response, I have to get the library from io.restassured.response. I will click this, and you can see this is imported, and now we have no errors. So I have just stored the response in a variable called response, and now using this response object or this variable, I can get different data from response. So I can say response dot get status code. So you can see it will give me the status code. I can also say response dot get body. I can also say response dot, or I can just say response as string. I can print the entire response, and to print it on console, I have to use a print statement. So I will say system.out.println, which is a print statement in Java, or I can just say syso and press Control spacebar on my keyboard, and it will autocomplete the statement. So this is a shortcut. Type syso and then press Control spacebar, and it will autocomplete the print statement. So I am just printing the body here. So I'll put this inside. I will again print the response body, that is dot get body. I'll cut it from here and paste it here, and again I have to view it as string, otherwise it will be in a different format. And then the status code. Now do not worry, we have not yet started the BDD style. I will show you that later. This is just for getting started, how you get the response and different data from the response. Similarly, I can also get, if I want to get response dot get, we can get cookies, headers. I will say that get status line also you can get from here. Then if you want to get, let us say you want to get some particular header, I will say I want to get the content type from the response headers. You can do that. And also if you just want to get the time of the response, I will say get time. So all this is coming from REST assured library. So this is done. Let me show you the entire class. So this is our entire class, and this is our function, and this is a TestNG function. Now to run this, I will do a right click and say run as, and I will select TestNG. Now just in case you are not getting the TestNG option here, that means the TestNG plugin has to be added to your Eclipse, and for that what you can do is go to help and go to install new software, and here you have to give the link or the website link from where you will get TestNG, and for that you can just search for TestNG and go to testng.org. So I am going to testng.org here, and here you can see this is the official website of TestNG. Here search for Eclipse plugin. So you will have this link, Eclipse plugin. Go here and it will take you to a GitHub page, and in the GitHub page you will see all the details, and if you scroll a little down you will see the latest release, and this is the link. So get the latest release and get the link from here, and in your Eclipse under install new software just paste this and add, and you can give some name also here, and it will have TestNG here. You can select TestNG and then click on next and finish. In my case you can see it is already installed, so I'm not getting the option. Also I have a video here, so if you go to the website and go to Java tips and tricks, you will have a video here how to add TestNG plugin. So you can also check this video just in case you do not have the plugin. So once you have that plugin, you will also need to restart your Eclipse after getting the plugin, and once you have that, when you do a right click and go to run as, you will have the option of TestNG. Also in case you do not get it here, you can go to run configurations, and here you can see TestNG is here. You can select new, give your class name here, and then create the configuration. But if you have TestNG plugin, you will get this here. So I will say run as TestNG test and run this, and let us see. So you can see I am getting all my details here. So this is the response body, then this is the output of get body, then we have the status code, the status line, this is the content type header, this is the time, and everything is pass. If you go to the results of TestNG, you can see everything is pass. So you can do like this. Now you can also use some asserts. For example, if I want to get the status code into a variable, I will say int status code, or use any variable name, equals to response dot get status code. So whatever is the status code will get stored into this variable status code, and then I can use asserts. I can say assert dot assert equals, and I will say status code equals to the expected is 200. So now I am asserting that status code should be 200. If I run this again, now I can directly use the run button. It will always run as TestNG because I have already said that earlier. So if I run this, you can see it is running, and if I go to TestNG results, everything is pass. Just in case I change this, for example, I say I am expecting 201 here. Now if I run this, this should fail. And if I go to the results, you can see it has failed and this has failed, and here it is saying it was expecting 201 but it found 200. So that is why it is a failure. So now you can do the testing like this. Now until now we have done a very simple, we have created a very simple test. If you go to the website of TestNG, or sorry, if you go to the website of rest assured here, let me show you very quickly. If you go to rest assured here, yeah, if you go to rest assured, and then if you go to the user guide or usage guide where we have some examples, so here you will find some examples, and here you have a very good documentation. You can also check from here or refer this. If I scroll down and show you some examples, you can see here is one example. This is a API response, and to test this response, this is how the example is shown. This is get the URL and then then body, and directly I am checking this particular ID or this particular parameter should be equal to 5. Similarly, if you see other example, in a single line we are using given, then, and all these options. So how to do that? For that you have to do static imports of the rest assured library. For example, here you can see in this import I will say make this static. I will say static, and to get all the libraries under rest assured class I will say dot star. So I have now done a static import, and now I can directly use the methods without creating an object. For example, you can see now it is no longer required to create rest assured or put rest assured here. I can directly use get. If I remove this, you can see it will work fine. Let me now create a new function and show you. I will create a new function here. I will say void test underscore 02, and again I will make it TestNG test. So I will give the annotation add test here. Now I can directly say given, and if I press Control spacebar, you can see I am getting this option given. I will say dot get, and inside get I will give the endpoint or the URL of the API, and then I will say dot then, and then I can directly check the status code. So I can say status code, and I am checking status code is 200. So here I will give the URL or the endpoint, which is this one. Now we can also give the parameters separately in the given, and then we can say when this particular URL, that I will show you later. This is very simple. As of now I am showing you in a very simple way how to get started. So this is my statement. I am saying given dot get and the URL or the endpoint of the API, and then I am saying dot then, and I am checking the status code is 200 and a semicolon at the end. And if I run this, let me run this and check. So this is running both our test cases, and if I go to the run results, you can see our test 1 is pass and test 2 is also pass. If I make any change here, let us say I say 201 and I save this and run again. Now this time this test 2 should fail, and you can see here test 2 has failed, and it is showing me the reason as well. It was expecting 201 but got 200, so that is why it's a failure. In the console as well, you can see it says it ran 2 and there was 1 failed. So this is how straightforward it can be. And now you can compare it with what you are seeing here in the official documentation of rest assured. Also you can put this in different lines for easy understanding. For example, I will say given, and get I will put here, and then I will put then here, and I will say status code here like this. So you can see you can also put it like this, and I can also say after status code, let us say I want to say body, I can say body, and I can give some arguments and the matcher here. Let us say for example in this particular API, here this ID is 7. Now I want to check under data and under data array, and this particular value, that is ID, should be 7. I can say here dot body, and I can give the path here, that is data dot ID, and you can see ID is here. There are many IDs, so I have to give the index position as well. I want to get the first ID, so that is 0 index. I will say 0, and I want to check this should be equal to 7, so I will put 7 here, and that's it. Now you can see I am getting some error here. So this body, if I hover over it, you can see it is not matching anything. So for that, if I go back to the official documentation of rest assured, you can see you can also add these static imports for matchers. I will copy this and put them here in the imports, and I will again import in a static way, import static, import static, and put a semicolon at the end and save. And let me just check. So here let me see, it should be if I look at the examples, so it should be okay, equal to this. So I have to make use equal to here. Let me give equal to, and I will say 7, and that's it. So now this is done. Now if I run this again, let me check. If I run this again now, I will make it back to 200, and I will run this again, and let us see the results. So this time everything passed. You can see here test1 and test2 passed. If I change this, let us say I make this equals to 9, and if I run my test again, and this time this should fail. If I go to the results, you can see this has failed, test2 has failed, and it is saying it was expecting 9 but actual was 7. So this is how you can test different values as well. If you go to the documentation, you can see a lot of different examples, and as of now we have started with a very simple example. In the coming sessions we will see some more complex examples. So let me also put the steps here. Step number 4 was add TestNG plugin, and I have also shown you the video where you can refer in case you do not have the plugin. Then let me also say step number 4 should be save project, because after you add the dependencies, when you will save the project, you will have all the libraries added. Then step number 6 will be create tests, and step number 7 is run and verify. So these are the steps we have done, and as of now, as I told you, this is very simple. We have just got started with rest assured. In the coming sessions we will see some more advanced examples and some different features of rest assured. I hope all this session and everything was very useful for you. Thank you for watching.